Last week we talked about product owner, before that we covered Scrum Master, and we started with the Scrum as a framework. Today I want to talk about teams, because none of the changes or your mindset gonna matter if the team still sees themselves as just doing tickets.
I'm Greg Miścichowski, and this is the Uncover Leadership Podcast. For over 15 years, I've been leading teams, and my mission is simple: to share my experience so you can grow on your own leadership journey. Each episode, I'll bring you some practical tips, real-world insights, and lessons from my path to help guide yours. So listen in. Let's uncover leadership together.
So let's start with my approach to, or why I think this way. When the teams are just doing tickets, and that might be right in some instances, when you have a support team, they have an input ticket, they want to do it as fast as possible to get it done, and that's totally fine. But in a project itself, when you have a team that only doing their part, that's what I mean by doing their tickets, only doing their part, you are still within that waterfall mindset. And it's nothing wrong with waterfall. There is a place for that. It's like on assembly line. If you are responsible for your part to get it done, get it put together with what was delivered to you and just push it forward to the next station, it is totally fine. And that was fine like 30 years ago when we didn't get all of this software and all of these teams that created and were able to be flexible, when you could just design something like a bridge, gather all of the materials, then just build it from the ground up. And that was totally fine because you had very narrow thinking mindset, maybe not narrow thinking, but narrow specialized mindsets that focus only on their parts because they're critical parts. Like you wouldn't want the bridge to collapse. And it's totally fine. We're talking about the world that we have today, where we have a lot of teams, we have a lot of changes. We need to be flexible. And in order to be flexible, the team members need to feel like the thing they're building, the thing that they're creating, they own part of it. And that's why a lot of the steps in Agile, the ceremonies are so important. So first of all, when you talk about the team, you need to make sure that they treat themselves as a unit. They work together, they finish together, they discuss together. And what I mentioned in the whole first season, you need to start with trust. Without trust, you will not be able to build that highly efficient team. The next part is actually on you, or basically on the leadership part. You need to give the teams the space for them to grow. They need to be valued enough to gain trust on your side, on leadership side, to give them the opportunity to work together, come up with their own ways of working. In Agile, you have some guidelines, like for the teams, you have the daily stand-ups, and there is a hint, like start with 3 questions. What you did yesterday, what you're going to work on today, do you have any blockers? A lot of teams stuck on that step. They think this is what they need to discuss, which is totally not true. Because it's useless if you're going to get the team members just repeating like zombies. Yesterday I did this, sorry, today I'm going to be still working on that story. I don't have anything to report. There's no value information that for other team members, and that's the whole goal. The daily stand-up should be a conversation between the team members. You're talking about important stuff, something that make you passionate, something that you struggle with. And for that, you need to get the trust within the team, between the team members. Because if someone is not sure how to do something, or they basically don't know how to do something, if there is no trust, they will stay quiet. So I think you see where your role is coming in when building a highly efficient team, like a great team, agile team, a waterfall team. It doesn't actually matter. If you want to get a good, great team created by you as a leader, you need to create that psychological safety for them so they can build the trust between them. You need to then shield the team, you need to protect them because they're going to make mistakes. In the storming phase, they're gonna probably make a lot of wrong assumptions. They're gonna have delays. If you're not gonna shield them, they're gonna feel like they're alone on the battlefield, that they don't have a admiral that's gonna guide them. And then remember to recognize the outcomes, but remember to recognize the outcomes for the whole team. And you're gonna get some excellent minds in a team. You're gonna get some excellent individuals. If you're gonna recognize them for achievements of the team, the rest gonna feel unseen. Even though they contributed a little bit, maybe just a little bit, you should recognize the whole team. It's gonna build their morale as a whole, and that's very important. Then the next step gonna be, if you build that team, if you give them the space to grow and understand themselves, how they interact, you need to make sure that the team understand what they're working on. Not just a small piece, maybe of the huge puzzle that they are part of, but do they understand what's at the end, what's the big picture, what we are building, why we are doing. This is very important for all of the human beings to be part of something bigger than themselves. If they only are responsible for building small piece, they might not necessarily understand what kind of value it's going to bring for the company. But if you as a leader can explain them, can put the why we are doing it in front of them, you can get their buy-in. And it's critical. If you're going to get the buy-in of the teams, they're going to understand it better. Then if you do the planning, and this is what I love in Agile, because I think it's something that's missing in the waterfall in a lot of time when the plan is built up front with not necessarily the whole team. In Agile, when you have the team members creating the plan for themselves, it's their plan. It's not your plan. It's theirs plan. They are the owners of that plan. They are the executors of that plan, and they are responsible to getting the plan done. They're committed to it. It's very important. If they are committed, if there is a buy-in from their side, if they understand why they are doing it, this is when you're gonna get that highly effective team that will deliver business value quick, efficient, and with the great quality. The last piece I want to talk about is the in-person presence. And I know in the world today, it's not always possible because we live in different parts. Sometimes it's even impossible due to some documentation challenges to meet everyone in the same place. But if you're gonna get the opportunity to do it, at least get the most of the team members in person present so they can interact with each other. I highly encourage to do that, at least at the beginning of the whole journey, to get everyone. Then they can build that trust, that interaction between them much faster. And if you're gonna get a mixed environment, when you're gonna get a little bit of in-person presenters and you're gonna get some of the folks only joining remotely, I would recommend what I posted about on my LinkedIn profile a week ago, when we have a few folks in the room, in the conference room, and then we get some of us connecting from India, connecting from other states, connecting from other parts of the world. We ask them just to get on camera. If they were not on, we stand up next to a screen, all around the screen, and we made a picture. So we included them in the team picture from that meeting. It's very important to make sure that the people that are connecting remotely are present, are not forgotten. The same thing is when you discuss something, don't leave them at the very end. Because if you're going to ask the questions first in the room and then, do you guys have any other questions? They're not necessarily going to want to speak up just because they are very last in the line. And that doesn't feel good. Try to think from your perspective. How would you feel if you would be asked at the very end what your opinion is? If you're going to ask them first or someone in the middle, at least not every time, but at least, here and there, they're going to see that their opinion is valued, that they can interact with the other team members, and that's going to make a difference. So with that, I want you to just pause in your life and think about, in the last 2 weeks or a sprint, did your team members only talk about their tasks or their tickets? And did they ever think about the outcomes that they're creating? And the second part gonna be what you can do better to change that behavior in the upcoming week, to act more as the owner than just the executor. Or rather, your team members can act as the owners. Can you switch their minds to be accountable for their own plans, for the outcomes that they're creating as a team, not as an individuals, but as a team. And as every time, I hope that you enjoy this episode. If you like it, please follow me on Spotify, Apple Podcast, or wherever you listen to this podcast. And if by any chance you listen it to YouTube, please subscribe. It's going to help to distribute the message. Thank you very much, and hope to see you next week. Thank you.